Wanting to create your dream life this 2025 but have absolutely no idea how or let alone where to start? And if you're anything like me and you're in your self-development era and we are trying to get 1% better every day, then look no further because I'm going to be taking you through step by step on how to set achievable goals and actually achieve them by the end of 2025. So go ahead and grab a pen and paper because you're gonna want to take notes during this video. So let's go ahead and get started with our 5-step process on how to create your dream life for 2025. Step number 1, starting with 4 focus areas. The main 4 general topics that I would consider are personal, health, career, and relationships. These 4 topics kind of cover every area in your life, but if you want something a little bit more different or specific, please go ahead and choose the 4 focus areas that you want. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be sticking to those 4. As you can see in my little graph here in my journal, I've gone ahead and split my page into 4 sections so that I can properly go ahead and write out everything. And now that you have your 4 focus areas, we're gonna move right along into step number 2, which is creating 3 targeted goals for each focus area. This is going to help us create a well-rounded amount of goals so that you actually are achieving things in every sector of your life for the next year. One example could be for career for me would be wanting to make $10,000 a month as a social media content creator. Now this is a huge goal, of course, but it also could be somewhat attainable. You never want to go too small when it comes to goals. It's always better to overshoot it a little bit. What I like to say to people is if you said that you were gonna make $5,000 a month, well, you shouldn't set your goal to be $5,000 a month, because even if you get 5,000 and you achieve your goal, yes, that is absolutely amazing, but you still could be underachieving. If I were you, I would set a goal to make 10,000 a month, because even if you don't make the 10,000 goal, say you end up making 8,000, then you still made way more than your original goal. And of course, there's always next year to go ahead and actually make that 10,000, but you never want to sell yourself short when it comes to these goals. You want to set high expectations for yourself. You never want to lower expectations just so that it's more attainable. It is always better to set something a little bit more outside of reach. That way, even if you don't make that actual goal, you're still coming in better than you would have originally. Once you've gone ahead and created 3 target goals for every focus area, you're gonna want to go ahead and go onto my favorite app ever, and that is Pinterest. Go ahead and scroll for a little while and find images that actually pertain to the goals that you have set for yourself. Something that is a visual that you can look at every day and remind you of your goals that you have set for yourself, so that when you're 3 months in, 6 months in, 9 months in, you can still see in front of you what it is that you originally set out to do in the beginning of the year. I absolutely love doing this because not only will I use these pictures as part of my mood board, but I like to keep an actual 2025 board in my Pinterest, because throughout the year I will continue, as I scroll through Pinterest on my day-to-day, if I see something that applies that I want to look back on, I will add it to that board, because it's always adjusting and it's always evolving. So it really is a good idea to go ahead and create a new board for this upcoming year, so that way you can go ahead and continue to add it throughout 2025. I also would suggest that maybe sticking within 20 to 30 photos of your actual pictures you're going to use as the collage, as your visual. You don't want anything too cluttered or too much. You want to stay focused and concise and clear on what it is that you want. Once you've gone ahead and found all your images and saved them to your mood board, you're gonna go ahead and actually download all these images to your camera roll. You can easily do this on Pinterest by just hitting the 3 dots and then hitting download image. Once you've got all of them into your camera roll, there are 2 different options that you can go about this next step, which is 1, you can either go ahead and upload them into Canva and create a digital mood board there, which I love to do, because then I'll just go ahead and download that mood board and I will go ahead and make it my wallpaper for everything. My iPad, my phone, I'll make it my lock screen, my home screen, everything, so that way I see it every single time I turn on my iPad or my phone. I see it all the time. The other option is going ahead and actually having all these images printed out and then pasting them onto an actual physical board and going ahead and making a little fun night out of it. I feel like this is such a good time. even if you are doing it digitally as well, whichever way you decide to do it. It is such a fun night to kind of just pour yourself a cute little drink, look through Pinterest, figure out what you want to visualize and do for this upcoming year. It is such a good way to kind of already start to get the gears moving on what it is that you plan to do for this upcoming year, especially if you do it with your friends or whoever. It is such a good time. And once you've gone ahead and done that and created your visual, the most important step, the last step, but the one that you do not want to miss out on, is aligning these goals with your daily habits. You can have a visual all you want, but if you are not actively working towards these goals, they are not going to happen. It's great to have this visual to go ahead and look at every single day so that you can be reminded of where you want to be, so that it helps motivate you and inspire you every single day to go ahead and keep working at these goals that you've set for yourself. I also definitely would suggest taking the time every morning, if you can, to actually just look at this mood board that you've created and really sit there and visualize what you want your dream life to be, what you want to do, what your morning routine looks like, what your day-to-day looks like, what your actual outfits and your style looks like, and the mannerisms that you have and everything that you want to achieve. If you can sit there and visualize it, you are actually getting even closer to your goals, because you are now putting it into your subconscious and you are now subconsciously and consciously working towards your goals and creating your dream life. Getting back to the daily habits, the reason I say this is the most important is because you want to create habits that are actually helping you lean towards your dream self, your goals, everything that you want, and align yourself with those things. Now, for example, if one of your goals is to have a more balanced lifestyle, more wellness included in your life, then your daily habits should reflect that. For example, creating some sort of movement slash gym routine, but something that is obviously balanced. I'm not saying that you should go ahead and create some strenuous gym routine that is 5 days a week, you're working out super hard, but maybe it's 2 of the days you go on a nice hour-long walk. Maybe one of the days is you sign yourself up for some Pilates class, and then another day you're doing cardio at the gym, and other days you're doing weightlifting. Find something that works for you that's actually reasonable for your lifestyle. That way you are still achieving this every single day, and you're not gonna get burnt out by the end of January, because obviously that's not what we want. So when it comes to doing this, you really have to sit with yourself and say, hey, what are some things I can do every day that are actually going to help me achieve these goals that I just set out for myself in every focus area? I know another personal one for me, going back to wanting to make $10,000 a month off social media, one of the things that I would probably put into my daily habits is constantly reaching out to companies that I enjoy, constantly engaging with other people and following other girls in my niche, constantly evolving and adapting and working every day on creating better content, getting better at editing, whatever it is. Obviously, those are things that if I want to be able to make money off of social media, I have to actually work towards things and work on things that are going to help me achieve those goals. If I said, oh, I want to make $10,000 a month on social media, but continued to throw out content because I need to get content out there and I'm doing quantity over quality, then that probably won't happen. Maybe I'll make some, or I'll work with some companies, but it's not going to be the same, because companies are going to want quality content. So you want to make sure that you actually are aligning some really good daily habits that are progressively working towards that overall goal, which is why that 1% better is such a good quote, because it is such small habits that are consistent every day that are what's really putting in the work towards that end all goal. To end this off, some final tips and tricks that I have for you guys to really help set you up is don't create too many goals. I honestly would say that you should have a max of 3 targeted goals within each focus area, because any more than that really can be overwhelming and you may end up just crashing and burning. So we definitely don't want that. Next would be not breaking down these goals into actionable steps. Like I said, you can create a goal, but if you are not actively working on it every day, you are not actually going to achieve those goals. So the actionable steps really are so super important to making sure that you are working towards your goals every single day. Finally, and most important, one that I definitely have seen make a huge difference is sitting down and revisiting and adjusting these goals every quarter. You want to sit down every 3 months and say, hey, what is working and what is not working? Because if something's not working, I'm not going to continue to do it for the rest of the year if it's not helping me towards my goals. So sitting down every quarter, I feel like really is a good amount of time to go by for you to actually look back and reflect and say, hey, this habit isn't working, or this isn't suiting my lifestyle, or this isn't getting me anywhere towards my goal, and then adjusting it so that moving forward you can either make the progress, or in that next quarterly say, hey, this worked really well when I switched it up last time, but this maybe didn't, so let's kind of readjust this aspect. It really is so important, because if you are doing things that maybe actually aren't helping you towards your goal, it's better to figure that out within the first 3 months or 6 months so that you can adjust moving forward, so that you're not stuck and you continue to set yourself up for success. Because if something's not working, you obviously shouldn't be doing it and you need to find something else that works better. I also just see other successful people really talk about how important it is to have kind of a quarterly sit down with yourself and see where you're at, to better reflect and understand what's going on, because you may be doing something that you don't even realize is not helping you or is not good for you. So it really does take a lot of mind power and self-discipline to kind of sit down and self-reflect and ask yourself why, or what's working or what's not working, because it also keeps you conscious towards your goals as well, to say, hey, I set this goal, but I haven't been doing these daily habits and actionable steps that are helping me towards it, so maybe this isn't fitting my lifestyle. Let's adjust and do something else. So that way you're still chasing your goals and you're still actively working towards your goals, but you're making sure you're doing it in the most effective way possible, because we want to get this dream life. Am I right, girls? Am I right? So those are my 5 steps in the process of creating your dream life and setting achievable goals for 2025. I really hope you got some good information out of this video. If you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up so that I know. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the post notifications. If you haven't seen last week's video where I talk about my ins and outs in setting priorities for 2025, I would definitely recommend you go and watch that. But if you want more videos like this as well, please be sure to leave a comment down below letting me know. My Instagram is always in the description box as well. If you want more daily content, you should also follow me over there. I appreciate you watching all the way to the end, and I can't wait to see what you guys have set up for 2025. Bye!